Well, hello. I am really excited about today's episode. And I hope that I got your attention because this is something that I have been hearing a lot lately. So, for those of you that are new, welcome, welcome. So excited to have you here and join us for this episode. I have been playing around with podcasts and YouTube, and I got to be honest, I really kind of like the whole video vibe. My big goal and my big project going into next year is to really nail down how to edit and create amazing videos so that it's more interactive. I have some guests and I just get better and better and better. But in the meantime, I have a lot to share with you guys. So, welcome to the Healthy CEO podcast. This is your weekly dose of 1% and how you can create that healthy CEO mindset for yourself, your career, and your life. My name is Megan Anderson, and I'm a mom of three, fitness professional, business owner, and I started my online fitness business in 2013 while simultaneously becoming a stay at mom for the first time and taking care of our household. But what I found was that I was feeling pressured to choose between my business, to choose between being a mom and taking care of all the things, right? But then I kind of discovered as I was moving along the way that I didn't have to actually choose, that I could have my cake and eat it too. So when I created the Healthy CEO podcast in mind, it was created for those women who've also have felt like they have been in my shoes and felt like they had to choose between being a mom, being there, being present, but also having career goals and feeling driven, right? So the birth of the Healthy CEO was born. So today, though, guys, I'm really wanting to jump into this topic about getting old. Okay. For those of you that don't know me, I am going to be 50 years old next year. I don't really think of myself as 50. I just still feel like I'm 18. I'm sure plenty of you also feel that way. But literally, like this last year, I have heard from so many women that they'll say to me, it sucks to get old. It sucks to get old. And you know what? I don't think that is the case. This is a story that we've told ourselves, okay? And honestly, the first thing that I think of when somebody says that to me is they've counted themselves out of the game before they've even started, right? By saying, man, it sucks to get old. You're kind of chalking that up to I just got to deal with this. Like you just get old and that's what happens, you know? Like my mom is always saying to me, you just wait to see what happens to you when you get my. I'm like, no, I'm not going to wait and see. I feel like I can prevent that. Maybe I have the leg up where I can understand a little bit more about physical fitness and things of that nature, but I do feel like it's preventative maintenance, right? And there's so many things are different nowadays too, where the mindset is a completely different thing than it used to be back then, right? Like because in her day it wasn't something seen as um to stay well. It was really like you exercise to lose weight, right? Or if you're fat or whatever their concept was, right, back then. And so like I literally think when someone says that to me, that's just BS. It's just something that you've told yourself, a story that you've made up. It's a thought process that's limiting your belief system, right? Um, because there are also plenty of people out there who are aging and living proof, and they're active, especially now more than ever. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen, especially on LinkedIn lately, which is pretty funny, older adults who are getting into fitness or moving into that space because they see that they can prevent, the balance, the flexibility, like all of those things, right? And personally, um I just feel like we get better with age, right? So and our failures and our experiences are really what push us forward to get us to be better, right? So the other big thing that I'll say to you too is if you don't want it to suck, then you've got to change that thought pattern, right? And I want you to say to yourself, like, it doesn't have to suck. What are the things that I can do differently, right? Or instead of thinking I'm too old to start or I'm too old to restart, be thinking I am right where I'm meant to be, right? I'm too old. I'm tired, my back hurts, my balance is weak. These are all things that you can do to work together to get better and to change, right? But that takes it's your mindset first, right? It's saying to yourself, like, I'm not going to put up with this. Like, this is not the way that life is meant to be. And changing how you feel about exercise and how you feel about fitness. And I've said this before, that the work doesn't start in the workouts or the kitchen. It starts in the 6 inches between your ears and what you tell yourself. So if you think it sucks to get old, then it's gonna suck for you to get old. But if you say, "Hey, I'm not putting up with this achy stuff. I'm out of here," and choose to change your direction, then you can do that, right? Okay. So the other big part of that though, guys, is that it takes effort, right? And then this is where most people opt out because they realize in our microwave society that they actually have to put in the work and they have to be consistent with it. So, working out a couple of days a week is probably not going to cut it. Right. It's not going to happen overnight either. And it's probably not even going to happen in like 6 months. It's going to have to be a lifelong pursuit. Right. But then ask yourself, like, what's the alternative? Right? Medicine, Medicare, like all of that stuff, which don't even want to go there about what's happening to our Medicare and all of that scenario. But I want to know that I can take care of myself, right? And that I don't have to worry about medicines and all of these things like a burden on my children and all of that stuff, right? But you also have to want to change, right? You have to want it more than you want to stay stuck in that same place, and think about it like this, right? These are the things that like really get me about my health and my wellness and my goals is if I stay in the exact same place I am today, what does that look like for me next year? Right? And then 2 years from now. What about 10 years from now? If I do nothing, then where am I in 10 years, right? So that puts me at almost 60 years old. And I think about that, and I personally think, gosh, I will just be just as vibrant, and that's putting into practice those things now, right? And working on it every single day. Okay. But it starts with your mindset and the story that you're telling yourself. If you want things to be different, then you have to choose different. Okay, so let's talk about the steps that you can take in order to start down that path, right? Because I know it's hard. You're like, okay, great, Megan, that sounds great, but now, but how do I get there, right? Like, how do you get from A to Z and feel amazing and good and all that stuff, right? Okay, so the first thing you have to do is decide. You make a plan to decide you're going to change. Like, I want to change. This is what I need to do. Give me the tools, give me the steps, tell me what to do. So it's that mindset, right? We just talked about that, like turning that mindset on. So you're making a plan, you're deciding. Okay. And then you want to say, what are the things that you need in place to change, right? So, what does that plan look like? Is it hiring a trainer? Is it going to Weight Watchers? Is it finding a local class in your studio or finding a coach or an online group, right? So what does that look like for you? What for your lifestyle, right? And so for me, like in the beginning when I first got started on my fitness journey, I was really just looking for something that was going to save me time from home. I knew that I struggled to get out. I had little kids. I had a business to run. So I really just needed something simple, easy, and convenient, and that wasn't going to take up a lot of my time. So when I found my at home workout programs, it was just like, kind of like a no brainer. Like I'd change my clothes, go do into my basement, do my workout, take a shower, go on to my work day and take care of the kids. Like it was just that part of my routine, right? Um, the other part of that was I loved being able to have other people. I had an online group of people that I checked in with. So it was like I wasn't alone. There was other moms in there, right? And I also had a coach to guide me through, answer questions for me, right? And the other big factor to that was the nutrition was included. So my fitness plan came with a book that actually told me what to eat and how much for based like on my activities and things like that. So there was no guesswork. So being a busy mom that had no time, wanted to do something from home, it was clearly laid out for me. It was simple. All I had to do was just follow it and move on with my day, right? The number 3 thing I want you guys to do is set up your environment for success. Okay. So talk to your family, tell them what your plans are, right? you're making a commitment to yourself, and you need to get them on board and let them know what you're doing, right? These are my goals. I have a weight loss goal, or I have a goal to get stronger in my core, and can you help me with the kids when I need it? For me, when I would always plan my workouts before my husband went to work in the morning. So when the kids were really little and babies, I thought, okay, if I could just get it done before he left for work, then he would, if they got up before I did, then he would be able to get them out of the crib, change a diaper, things like that until I was ready to take over. So that was really super helpful. I made sure that it didn't really impede with family time or anything like that. And I did it while everybody was sleeping. Most days they stayed asleep until I was done. And do you have a workout space, right? If you're doing it from home, is there a space? Can you clear out a room, or do you need equipment? Things of that nature, right? So setting up your environment, and it doesn't actually mean your physical environment as much as it also means your people environment, right? Who's your support system? Friends, family, and all of that kind of stuff. The next thing I want you guys to do in addition to that is get that accountability and support, right? So you set up your environment, but then you're needing their support too. So whether it's your family, or you're getting a best friend to do this with you, or you get an online community, that there is so many statistics that show that when you are in a community of other people, whether it's online, in person, or a mix of both, your the statistics that you're going to be more successful is so much higher than trying to do it by yourself. So literally like linking arms. That's probably my favorite thing about our online fit gym. The Next Level Living Fit Gym is full of moms that are like us, all doing the workouts together. So I still feel like I'm a participant as well as running the groups, right? So I come in with my daily posts, and we have action plans, and we have meal plans, and all those resources and things. But I'm in there logging my workouts too. We go in, do my workout, log it, log my water, log my food, check in with my ladies, see how they're doing. They have the opportunity to ask questions. Sometimes I go live and chat with them and tell them what's working for me. We have challenges and mini prizes that we give out, and it's just a lot of fun. So it's super cool to be a part of that online accountability group where everything is in there together. There's no guesswork. It's fun. It's accountable and all that stuff, right? And then the bigger part of the equation that I always make sure to include is that mindset work. So we're always working on, we have a theme every single month. This month is being present over perfection. We have a lot of perfectionists in our group, and everybody has that thought process of that all or nothing, right? So we're really working hard this month to stop that thought process of on the wagon, off the wagon, all or nothing, black or white, and really just work on being consistent every single day with those small individual tasks in order to reach those goals, right? The other cool thing is we have people that are from all over the country in there, United States, Canada, and the UK, and everybody is doing their thing at home on their own time and schedule, and then they check into the group on their own time and schedule. So the flexibility that the whole thing has is just incredible. And it's not like you're online all day long, right? You do your thing, you check in with the questions, and engage with the other women, and then you move on with your day. So I love that about that. Okay, so you're getting accountability, support, and then the last big thing, guys, is taking action. Not perfect action, could be messy, imperfect action, but just do it, right? Finding that consistency with the tools and creating, and now somebody's calling me. The tools, creating those habits, it's going to be hard, right? It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, especially if you're new, especially if you're trying to get started from nothing or restart, right? But if you have that support and the accountability, the communication, you have a plan in place, then you'll have what you need to be successful, and then you just need to take action, right? And so make a plan, decide you're going to do it. Have those things in place. What are the things going to look like that's in place for your plan? Set up your environment, accountability, support, and then take action. Okay, so I just wanted to also kind of tell you guys a quick story where I was several years ago. Yeah, it's probably several years ago by now, maybe a little bit, maybe like four, definitely pre-COVID, maybe a year or so before that. I was really feeling burnt out. I was teaching classes. I had a lot of aches and pains going on. I was doing high intensity cardio, and I was pairing that with bodybuilding, strength training workouts. I was thinking like, the HIIT high intense, and then the bodybuilding on that, I was kind of on that circuit of, as much as I could do. I think I had one rest day a week, if that, teaching several classes. And I was going into my 40s, or was in my 40s rather. This is in my 40s for sure. And was feeling just burnt out, starting to get really worried about my body and how I was going to maintain this like level and then also reach my goals. Like, started to really second guess, like, is this the right track for me? How do I maintain this? Is this how other people feel when they're pushing, to reach their goals? um and I still felt like I had so much more on my journey, like with my body and the physical looks and feels and all of that. And it started at my feet. I started with that whole plantar fasciitis thing, which I swore was something that would never happen to me, right? And really just kept it to myself. I really didn't say anything to anybody because I was like, how can I be like this fit person and have like all this pain? And so I just kept going, right? It slowly worked its way up to my ankle, and I just kept doing the thing and was kinda like, "If I just ignore it, maybe it just will work itself out," I'm tight and things like that. And then I started to feel it in my knee. It was all on this right side, and it was crazy how it started to really travel up. And then when I started to feel it in my hips and traveling to the small base of my back, I started to really worry. And I decided that I just needed to quit what I was doing altogether. I needed to still teach my classes, so I kept my classes, but I spent that week doing deep stretching. And I was able to actually, by stopping what I was doing and implementing these deep yoga stretches and holds, I was able to heal myself within like 10 days. It was crazy. Like it was almost miraculous how my body changed so quickly and went, and all that pain dissipated. And it was this light bulb moment, right? Like, holy crap, right? That was like what I clearly needed to change. And I was so pig-headed and stubborn that I didn't want to, because I thought more calories I burned, the heavier I lifted, the harder I pushed. That's where the goals are. That's how you get to the things, right? And then, but it wasn't really until 2021 that the landscape of fitness completely changed for me. Like, so after I went through that pain period, I was kind of like, crap, what do I do? And I sort of like leaned into, most of you guys know I've been doing body workouts for like a 2 decades now or more. So I leaned into some of that stuff and tried to find like more of a yin and yang, but it wasn't until 2021 when everything just changed for me. And they came out with a program that was incredible. But it taught me what I had already suspected, that I had to slow down in order to speed up, right? So when I dove into my first functional fitness training program, I felt the changes in my body almost immediately. It was strength training paired with mobility, flexibility, stability, and balance work. And guys, this isn't like a shocker, right? Like, this is movement I knew that I needed, but I wasn't sure how to build that into what I was already doing. And here I am, a fitness professional, knowing I need this, the yin and the yang of the things, right? And I was not getting that. And because I didn't know how to build it in and make it work with my week and getting all the calories burned too and all of that kind of stuff, right? So, but by adding this type of training into my days, it's been just absolutely life changing. Not only have I been able to squat deeper, lift heavier, jump higher on my cardio days, but I'm doing things with my balance and range of motion that I never would be able to do in my 20s. Um, and I did not know that all of the aches and pains that I was experiencing was due to my immobility, my tight joints, my ligaments, right? And it was as if going through this program and this whole thought process that I had healed myself, right? And then I found literally the fountain of youth. And I still today am doing this type of a workout, this type of a program, and I absolutely love it. It is always my go-to. We've shifted gears a couple times in the Body Network to do a couple of really heavy weight lifting programs, and I will, no joke, get in it to about 4 weeks and start to be in pain because the stretching and the mobility work is not included with it. And I have to shift gears and shift things around and stuff like that. And I immediately, my body levels out, right? Um, but I'm the crazy thing about it is that I'm not like the only person to experience this breakthrough. I have had countless women, moms, ex-athletes, marathon runners, older women who started the program inside of our fit gym as a beginner to fitness, really overweight or experiencing some type of pain in the back, knees, neck. And they moved through this program and experienced incredible gains, pain relief, and weight loss. um I always like to tell people that it's like going through a physical therapy session and a personal training session all at once. But like the best part of all of this, guys, is that it translates beyond the gym into everyday life. And that's probably the biggest thing I've noticed. Like, I'm thinking all the time, like, where was this program when I had babies, right? Getting up and down off the floor with ease, carrying groceries up 2 flights of stairs. How about wrestling a toddler in and out of a car seat? That's the one I think about the most, right? Improve your golf game, your tennis game, improve your sport, running, become a better runner, become better at your sport, like whatever you're into, right? And ultimately live a pain-free life. Like, I think that's the pinnacle, right? Um, and so wanting to really share with you guys today, like if you're feeling that crunch, if you can relate to any of this, like you're thinking getting old sucks, maybe this is where um we need to rebuild strength, right? We need to get restarted, right? And I got you. So I'm actually putting together a super special group to count down a new summer program that's launching this July. So this program is all about strength training, mobility practice, all the things that I've talked about, finding strength through specific training and celebrating your body through this mobility and stretching and building a strong foundation that translates beyond the gym. I know you can feel me on this. I'm so excited about this next program. It's like I know it's going to take me to the next level, and I can't wait for my other moms and group members to experience this too. We're already hearing feedback from the first round in the test group, and it's just been incredible. And besides the strength and the mobility, the physical aspects, the mindset work is just unmatched to anything that I have ever heard of before. The trainer is incredible. It's like having your own trainer right in your living room. I have never encountered any super trainer like this before. His background is actually corrective exercise, actual exercise specialist. He's NASM certified. He works as a trainer with the NBA. He spent 6 months this year with the New York Knicks at the beginning of the season. So he's an athlete. He trains athletes. And the way that he lifts you up and inspires you to be your best self, like you are going to get all the feels when you go through this program with us. Okay. So right now we are actually prepping in the Fit Gym. I've got a calendar that I've created and that we're following to get ready for the program. But before I have you jump in with us, if you're thinking, this sounds pretty cool, I actually just got a sample of the workout and I would love to get it into your hands and get your feedback. So, is to see if it's a good fit for you or not and have that conversation with you, right? So I'm going to link that in the show notes below. So just make sure that you read through and see that, fill out your name and email, and then once you submit that form, you watch your inbox and you'll get the link to the sample. I really can't wait to see what you guys think of it. If you are anything like me, if you've been following me on social, you know that this functional fitness is my jam. I just cannot say enough about how this transforms you mind, body, and soul, and literally is the fountain of youth. This is going to change the way that you think about fitness, the way you move throughout your day, the way you think about life, and that um, getting old doesn't have to suck. Right? So the next time you hear someone say it sucks to get old, you know where to send them, right? And if you're finding that you're saying that yourself, I want you to stop. Stop yourself right in your tracks with those limiting beliefs right there, and then connect with me so that we can develop an action plan together to change that for you. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I can't wait to work with you in the Fit Gym and for you to all meet our strong and amazing mamas. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you